Farce.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's edition of the Petty and Ill-Informed podcast, where we venture our petty informed opinion about a variety of topics. It just looks like it's me and Tom tonight. I would have thought Kevin would be here, but apparently... Oh, maybe he's running late.
Yeah, he'll probably turn up halfway through.
Nikki's gone down with bronchitis, so she can't talk for more than 5 minutes without erupting in coughs. I find that funny, but she was very self-conscious about it, so she didn't want to do it.
Oh, bless her.
Mm.
So, how's your week?
How are you?
Go on, you first. How's your week?
My week's been terrible. I caught COVID, and that's just been my week, getting over that. I mean, I gotta be honest, I expected more from the plague, but, you know, it's still been an unpleasant. It doesn't beat swine flu. Swine flu was the worst thing I've ever had in my entire life. And while this was certainly terrible, it wasn't that bad.
Oh. When did you get swine flu?
Over 11 years ago, when it was making the rounds.
Okay, what? Go on.
It was just horrible. It was like flu times 10. Just being achy and shivery and feverish every minute of every day. I had one day like that with COVID, and the rest is just... I mean, I'm still not 100%, to be fair, but I'm not, like, debilitated.
Oh. We had COVID in our house ages ago now. I think it was in 2021. I think it was in the summer of 2021, and I was definitely I definitely felt it pretty strongly. I had a lot of the symptoms that you might expect. I was very lethargic. I was very low on energy. I was isolating. Sorry, hang on, just plugging my laptop in 1 second. That's right. That's happier now. So, where was I? I definitely lost a lot of senses of taste and smell. I noticed that hugely. That's I was just up in I camped out in my kid's bedroom, and his it was so uncomfortable. He has this elevated bed. I don't know how he sleeps in there comfortably, but he does. That was really naff. I was still able to work and sort of teach remotely online in bits and pieces. I remember doing that with a couple of. I remember being on a couple of conference calls with my class and things like that. It was just all a bit of a mission.
Yeah, but it wasn't like debilitatingly terrible, was it? I'm very disappointed. I'm just going to be honest.
No, I got off lightly compared to some, for sure. I mean, one of my best friends, someone called Carrie in Louisiana, she was literally fighting for her life.
Yeah, no, that didn't happen. I felt pretty bad for a few days, but not like only one day, like I said, was really terrible. So yeah, I'm a bit disappointed with COVID's performance. Gotta be honest.
Oh, so you got the COVID?
Yeah, I got it this week.
Oh no. Well, I mean, you've been vaccinated, right?
Yeah.
Well, I should have made a difference to the severity of it, but
I guess.
Yeah.
Well, that's the most the vaccine seems to do, isn't it? It doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't know if it claims to reduce the risk of infection, but that it doesn't seem to do that. But it does
No,
seem.
it never claimed to reduce the risk of infection. It just said you'll just get a less severe version of it. And I was like, oh, okay.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
good.
that's what they used to do for smallpox, though, isn't it? Back in the old school inoculations. They just used to give you a really mild version of small. No, it was scabs, wasn't it? They used to put the scabs from people onto an open wound. So
Yeah.
you'd get a really small version of the virus, but as well as the blueprints for the antibodies.
Well, do you remember what a fleeing knife is, Richard? Do you know what that is?
Yeah, one of them really
So
little ones.
whenever they used to, bleed you for some reason, well, they used to take like a fleeing knife and open you up a little bit, just give you a little bit of a cut, and then take the the open ooze or whatever bacteria from the thing and rub it in there. So that would give you a small version of it. You know what I mean? So that you would be inoculated from it.
It's one of them random things that you just don't know how they figured that out. Was there just some dude rubbing just fucking random scabs into open sores until he found one that worked? If you did that with the herpes virus, you'd just end up with herpes. So
Yeah, but I mean that's what they do whenever your child has chicken. Well, they used to when you had chicken pox, they'd take you around over to your neighbor's house and they'd get the chicken pox. You know what I mean? And so that would.
yeah, we had chicken pox parties
Mm-hmm.
when I was a kid. If someone got chicken pox, all the kids were gathered around, so they all just got it all at once.
Right. Well, I remember that from the flu shot because they said to me, you should have the flu shot every year, right? And I'm not, and they say, well, it's not going to stop you from getting the flu, but if you have the flu, it's not going to, you're probably not going to end up in the hospital with a respiratory issue, or whatever. Your blood sugar is going to go out of control and everything like that. So most people with compromised immune system already understood that, but again, it's probably the government trying to control you. Did you at any point in time allow them to put a microchip in you?
No. Just the usual.
Yeah, well, that's how it goes. The usual microchip.
So, yeah, just the usual microchip. There wasn't anything special about it. All right, so pleasantries aside, let's get to the meat and potatoes of today's episode, shall we?
Is it started already?
Eastenders. Yeah.
Oh shoot! Didn't realize that. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Eastenders. So, after literally 8 months of building up the Christmas episode, it did not disappoint.
No.
The rest of the week has disappointed massively, but the Christmas episode itself was really good.
I disagree with you on the rest of the week being so bad. I mean, because there were some good things that happened this week, but I would say the thing that amazed me the most, let's get this out of the way first, is that, of course, there was the Christmas message from Lola.
Oh, God. Another one.
Another one?
I was getting into that because we had the one for Jay on Friday.
Yes.
And then Christmas Day, they're
yes.
like, here's another message from Lola.
Right. And then the one in the middle of the week was strange. Do you remember that one? Where she made a video that says, if, for example, 2 people get killed in the Vic, this is what you should do.
I mean, seriously, how long did she spend making videos on her deathbed? Yeah. Like, that must have taken up a great deal of time. No wonder the poor thing didn't have any energy.
Yeah. She's getting really,
all the time.
Yeah, but I think she's really getting good at predicting the future. All right, so let's go. Let's hit it. So on Christmas Day, There was some big stuff happening.
Big doings. So we started with Keanu and Sharon's wedding, which no wedding has ever gone smoothly in the history of EastEnders. And they weren't going to start today, let me tell you. They Bernie finally grasped Keanu up that he had a hand in Albie's kidnapping. Sharon laid him out, which don't really blame her for doing it. The wedding was off. And Sharon told Keanu very loudly in front of everyone that Albie wasn't really his son.
Yes.
And
all of which could have been avoided if Keanu would have just listened to his sister and realized she was living in an apartment with no power and no heat.
Should just listened to her and gone, hang on a minute. Either I kill Bernie or I give her a place to live.
Well, he made that situation happen because he just would not, he'd already, got the mom the mom took the grief from him before. Bernie didn't want to leave, and because she thought she had a home there in the square. And so all she needed was some help because she couldn't make the payments for the house. And so she'd had her she was left with nothing. She had no food, no heat, no electricity. And her brother couldn't understand why that would, force her to do something. Yeah. Force her to do something that she didn't want to do. But that's the hubris of Keanu. So anyway.
So they go back to the Vic, and then we go over to the B story, which is Suki and Nish. Nish is trying desperately to keep Suki from leaving, which, he's been trying for weeks, and Suki's finally had enough. So she's leaving. He can't stop her from leaving. We had that awesome moment where Ravi finally manned up, grabbed Nish and dragged him off Suki so Suki could escape. I was like, oh, Ravi, you're finally being a man.
Yeah. But at the same time, they're all sitting there around the table, and it's so nefarious in the fact that they're sitting around the table. Nish knows, Ravi knows, Suki knows that they both know. And it's always like, oh, come sit down. Come sit down at the table, wouldn't you? While the kids are completely oblivious to the fact that, this is all happening. And, it's that weird thing that Nish does. Like he's such a loving husband whenever, anybody that, is that loving, you got to be suspicious of. I know that sounds terrible, but whenever you got that weird smarmy, like I love you voice going on, there's something up. There's something up. And so that was that. And so, of course, he starts to, he's trying to convince himself at this point in time. And I think he really means it. I think he really means that I think he really believes it, that she's been brainwashed by a lesbian into becoming a lesbian.
He can't wrap his little brain around the fact that that's just who she's been the entire time.
Well, that was the classic line is that, you killed the wrong man. I was in love with his wife. But at the same time, I will say this, like I said, is that the factor of a narcissistic brain that you can't accept that it might be you.
Yeah.
It could be you that's the reason that she doesn't want to live with you. After all you've done, you've murdered people, you go around. But again, this is one of those things where I thought, I think that Jean made a statement. I know that was in the middle of the week, but she says to Eve, do you really want to be with Suki? She's not a nice person.
You could have done so much better. And
that was actually the truest thing that anybody said this week.
And I'm like, yeah, I get it. But on the other hand, I've had my fingers crossed for these two for months at this point, and I'm just happy it's finally almost there.
But you remember whenever she chased that guy out of town with Ravi, you know, the drag artist's brother out of town.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, she does have a point. That's all I'm saying.
I remember when Suki first arrived on the square and pretended she had cancer. I mean,
yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. All right. Oh, getting back to the story. Sorry.
Getting back to the story anyway. We're getting off topic. So Suki escapes, finds Stacy, and together they run to the Vic. So you've got all 6 ladies at the Vic, as promised in February. You've got Sharon, Kathy, Denise, Stacy, Suki, and Linda. And now you're just waiting for the man to show up that's going to die. And of course, Suki explains to everyone what's going on, and they're like, well, just call Nish up and have him come here, and tell him you're leaving.
Yeah.
And we'll all back you up.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, this is it. Nish is going to be the one that dies.
Right.
And, you know,
they sure have me going.
And I'm like, yes.
The only problem with that was that there was too much Dutch courage involved with that. Oh yeah, just get him up. You know, don't do what you should do, which is just get out of town and you know, that's it. You know what I mean? Let everything calm down and then come back. Don't do that. Let's go ahead and have this gangster who tried to have your girlfriend killed and buried in a shallow grave in the woods. Get him over here now, and I'm sure it'll all be rational whenever you tell him it's done deal. That's it. I'm out. But we're all going to be here. We're all going to be here to watch. I think that there was a little bit of voyeurism there, as well as Dutch courage, that they all wanted to see it.
We're getting to the reason why I didn't like the rest of the week. But let's go. So, you know, Nish arrives. Suki's like, I'm leaving you. He's like, oh, no, you're not. Yeah. And, you know, he tries to convince her. And when that doesn't work, he, of course, grabs her and starts to physically try and drag her home. At which point, a fight ensues and Denise clonks him over the head with a wine bottle.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, well, you know, a bit predictable, but, you know, thank God it's Nish because, you know, I really wanted Nish to be the one that dies.
Oh, okay. But let me interject here something, because there was a lot of at least one character, the Linda's rapist, was walking around in there prior to them all being in there. And so that was the thing. I didn't know whether, you know, he was going to pop out of the woodwork and then he'd be like, oh, I saw you do it. I mean, there was just so much.
I'm sure that will come into play at some point. I'm pretty sure he watched the whole thing happen. But we don't know that for sure yet. So, yeah, Deed was wandering around the pub. He might have been the one to get clonked, but no, it turns out it's Nish. So they all start panicking. They don't know what to do. They're worried they're going to go down for murder. Suki starts... Keanu shows up at that point. And he's like, oh, my God, did you just kill Nish? And the girls are like, well, no, we just knocked him out. He's like, well, I'm getting my son. I'm getting him away from you, Sharon. Which, no, it just seemed like an odd time to be doing that. So he goes to grab Albie, but Sharon's like, no. He's really not your son. You don't have a right to him. Get away from it. And Keanu snaps and starts throttling Sharon.
Yes.
And I don't know. Like, you shouldn't try and kill anyone, really, but he has just found out she's been lying to him. But then he did try and kidnap Albie, so it's all a bit complicated.
Well, he was technically attempting to kill her at the time.
Yeah.
And so then Linda picks up, I don't know what it was, a sword or some kind of.
It was
you know,
it was one of them forks he used for holding turkeys in place.
Oh,
when
was
you're
it?
carving them. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know. I mean, it was longer than a bayonet. I mean, it was not like your simple thing. I didn't know she'd like killed him with a shish kebab knife or something.
So yeah, Linda stabs Keanu, and it turns out he's the one that dies because Suki comes in and says that Nish is still alive. Right. So they pulled a great double fake. I fell for it.
Yes.
And
yep, I did.
Tom fell for it.
I didn't understand why if one's dead, they might as well both be dead. That's it. You know.
They might as well kill them both.
You know what I mean? How many life sentences are you going to get? You're still only going to get 30 years if you kill two people. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's the Northern Irish guy in me. Once you start, you might as well not stop. I'm like a Pringles. Once you pop, you can't stop.
I mean, I'm kind of with you. I mean, if they're in for a penny, in for a pound, they should have killed Nish as well. But anyway, so Nish went to hospital, and then we began the worst thought out plan in the history of covering up murders.
Mm-hmm.
Because, of course, a load of people know about Suki and Hugh at this point, and a load of people saw Keanu say very loud, Sharon tell Keanu very loudly that he wasn't Albie's father on their wedding day. So you've got, motives, two motives right there for the industry. Oh, SoFlo watched it as well and fell for it. So I'm like, this is going to be an uphill battle. Started from there. Then you got Linda, for whatever reason, keeping a hold of the murder weapon. I was screaming. I was screaming at the TV. I don't mind telling you to. I was like, what are you doing? Get rid of the murder weapon.
Especially since it was supposed to be that Nish had, at one point in time, stabbed Keanu, correct? Or was it? No. Oh, okay.
Keanu clonked Nish.
Oh, Keanu clonked Nish.
Nish and Keanu got into an argument.
Right.
Because they'd had an argument earlier on in the week and everyone had seen it.
Right.
So Keanu clonked Nish.
Correct. Yeah.
And then ran off.
Right.
And no one knows where Keanu is.
Right. Even though, and I don't know if you noticed this, when Denise puts the bottle to put the prints on it in Keanu's hand, she puts it in upside down. You see what I'm saying? The palm prints and the fingerprints are going to be the wrong way. So when you're clanging somebody over
the least of their problems.
Well, I know, but it should be some kind of a plot point because of the fact that if anybody doing the forensics is looking at that, they're going to say, well, how is he holding the bottle below his hand and hitting him over the head with it? Doesn't work out. So that was the one thing I thought of at that point in time. Well, in the ill-conceived notion that six people who really don't like each other can keep a secret.
Yeah, I mean, there's that. Just the fact that, at the very least, Rocky saw them moving around the square that night.
Right.
They put Keanu's body in the calf, which is just really dumb because...
Right.
Well...
I mean, but it all adds up to the stupidness of the whole thing. I mean, you've got an alcoholic, somebody who's trying to do it, two people who are very innocent getting talked into just go ahead and not.
I mean, Stacy and Kathy didn't do anything at all.
No.
Why are they involved?
Right. But this is the thing. This is the thing where it's like Sharon is dictating sort of to the other, to the two people that actually did anything, what we're going to do. You know what I mean? But I did note, you notice how they said that they wanted to dump Keanu's body in the canal, and Sharon's reaction to that, because wasn't it like her dad was thrown in the canal?
Yeah.
Grant
Yeah.
was thrown in the canal. It was kind of a throwaway line where she's like, no, we're not putting them in the canal.
I mean, yeah.
But then they decide that they're going to apparently take Keanu's body and hide him in the calf, right? So they get a tarp. Rocky is stumbling around drunk,
Yeah.
comes to the door looking for Kathy. They say basically she's not here, piss off, you know what I mean? He says I got no way to get into the house. He's steaming drunk.
Yeah.
But then he apparently witnesses some things, and has quite good memory about it actually whenever he sobers up.
Yeah, somehow, despite how drunk he is, remembers quite a lot of things.
Yeah, a lot of details. And Linda had phoned the for an ambulance whenever she first had, somebody had first gotten there, and Denise went out and pretended she was Linda.
Yep.
Which makes it even more complicated, because now the story is that Keanu came in, killed Nish because Nish was giving him a hard time. Then when the police showed up, Keanu had a knife and was holding them hostage and forced Denise to go outside and say she was Linda, instead of just forcing Linda to go outside and say she was Linda.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on here. It's really a terrible plan.
But I think it was not Abraham Lincoln, but Benjamin Franklin said, if you want to keep a secret between three people, you've got to kill two of them. And I think that this is exactly what's going on here.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're already beginning to see chasms form in the sixes.
Right.
Johnny Cochran-like defense, but like Linda's already off the wagon. She's already an alcoholic and already drinking heavily, and you can't trust a bloody junkie to keep a secret. So obviously they'll have to kill her next.
Right. Well, I mean, and then Rocky starts browsing around saying, Calf, I know you didn't do anything. I know you wouldn't do anything.
Yeah.
So, but these people are trying to get you involved in the situation that I don't know is happening. Apparently he says he saw Sharon coming in and out of the calf, and he saw Stacy and Denise take a tarp from across from a skip across the road and take it into the calf. At which point in time they realize Rocky's got to go.
Yeah, so they shot Rocky to the police.
Right.
And
for arson.
He's for arson. I guess that's the end of him for now.
Well, it could be, but the nice thing about it is that he thinks Ian did it.
Yeah, he doesn't blame Kathy at all, which I thought was very sweet.
Right. And so Ian was supposedly the one that did it, and that makes out because Ian says basically, you're not getting back with my mom. You're a scumbag, crook, thief, liar, drunk.
Meanwhile, his current girlfriend literally shot him. So I just I don't know where he gets that.
Right, but I mean, is there anybody on the square that has been in a relationship with Ian that hasn't tried to either shoot him, poison him, or something? He's and I love that. You have no idea who I am and what I can do, Ian.
Yeah, we know exactly who you are and what you can do.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was that. Of course, the Gina is still besotted with Dean, And
I mean, we all know how that's going to end.
yeah, that's going to go well.
we can see the writing on that wall a mile away.
Yes, the defiant daughter and the rapist. I mean, it's just like, you can't. I mean, it's sad and tragic, and but it's actually sort of how that would go. She just doesn't like her mom. She doesn't like Linda, or not her mom. She doesn't like the fact that, well, that's her stepsister, wouldn't it be, if they get married?
Yeah.
Doesn't like her at all, and thinks that she's a bitch. So therefore, anybody else that could be bad is not bad, because it's a de facto black and white world, and we don't see anything in grays. Like, maybe they both could be shit. We don't want to take that into account. You know what I mean? So that's that. And because, and I think she feels sorry because she bonded with his child. You see, the one that needs a lung transplant. So
Yep.
So it's a sad story. I mean, it was so dark. I mean, there wasn't anything really funny that happened. You know what I mean? On some soap operas, there's usually something funny that happens at Christmas, but not this.
No,
It was
it's
just
very
death and
dark.
destruction.
Yeah. I mean, but we expected that when they set it up in February.
Right. But and then so that was that. But that, the thing that is interesting about it is there's no possible way that this can keep it, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. And now they're already thinking, what can we do about Linda? And Linda's just drunk, stumbling around, saying, I can't take it. I just want to confess. Well, because of the way that they've made statements already, they can't let her confess.
Nope, that's it. They're all doomed.
She wanted to confess that night, and I don't understand why they didn't let her. I mean, the thing about it is, if you would have said, "Oh, my best friend was getting choked to death by this guy that was just jilted at the altar and found out that the kid was not, his own," which is not a crime. None of that's a crime. You know what I mean? I understand it'll piss people off, but it's not a crime. And then he tries to throttle her to death. So I tried to get it to stop. We were all there trying to get it to stop. He wouldn't stop. So I had to take matters into my own hands and stop it from happening, because I thought she was going to die.
Yeah.
So, and the same thing with Nish. It's like, she couldn't defend herself at the time. What are they supposed to do? Just call the cops and say, yeah, well, this person's, can I defend this person or can I not defend this person based on the fact that they can't defend themselves? And,
I don't know. Honestly, they could have just said, well, Keanu laid out Nish before we stabbed him. I mean, I don't know why they've got to take the rap for the Nish thing.
Right. But then again, dead men tell no tales, so they should have just let Nish go.
Yeah, I mean, what do they expect Nish is going to say when he wakes up from the coma?
Well, basically, everybody in the square has something to be blackmailed for at this point.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, buddy. But Eastenders was something else. But we do get to look forward to New Year's Eve now. So, although
how have they left it?
Right. Well, at this point in time, the mom Elaine has a get together in the Vic, because she's going to have that sort of Second World War mentality. Everybody's going to go down to the pub and sing around the old piano, the old Joanna, to bring in the new New Year. So she's having a pub quiz. and everybody that hates each other is around the table. They're all there. All the people are there. All the women are looking at each other, and in a way that if anybody was looking at them, they would know that there's some kind of a secret between 6 people. And Linda comes down and, giving it the all that because she's drunk off her ass, and they have to haul her upstairs. So who knows what's going to happen tonight?
Yeah, who knows? New Year's Day is the next episode.
Rocky's under custody, has confessed at this point in time that he burned down the calf, and then we'll see what else. And Linda might have a drunken accident falling from the roof of the Vic tonight on New Year's Eve. We don't know. And then they'll blame it on Gina and Dean. See? That's what they
It all comes together. But yeah, I'm very interested in see how they're going to do this, how they're going to run this mystery. I mean, is it going to drag on for another year? Is it going to be next Christmas by the time it finally gets resolved?
Oh, I don't think so. It can't last that long. It just can't last that long. Kathy is already shaky about it. She was going to, in my opinion, take Rocky back if none of this had happened. She was already feeling sorry for the guy, and she already knows he's a half-wit, con man, and loves him for it. You know what I mean? Loves him for it, and and it's the same thing with Sharon. Keanu gets stabbed. I love him. You know what I mean? It was just like that old. I just wanted to do my thing and sort of punish him for a while, but maybe they'll take him back at that point in time because, who knows? But yeah, these are these breakup, get together sort of relationships, that at least Kathy has and Sharon has in the past too. So
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how they what they do next. Personally, yeah. I mean, I don't know how they can drag it out much. It's been like an entire year of build up. They've shot their shot. Now let's wrap it up and move on to greener pastures. Suki and Eve getting married. Let's see that happening.
Yeah, Suki and Eve getting married. Linda jumping off the White Cliffs of Dover.
It's totally believable.
Gina, I'm coming for you, baby. I'm coming.
Oh, God. Yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing, isn't it? We're going to have to watch Dean bloody R-word Gina at some point. And I'm just not here for that at all.
Yeah. But, I mean, here's the thing about it is the thing that'll be about that. I mean, Dean probably, and I don't, I mean, listen, I don't like rape. It's not a subject I like talking about. I don't really, I mean, it disgusts me, to be honest with you. It's not something that I even want to watch on TV. I know it happens. It just rubs me the wrong way. But one of the things I think will happen is that they will be in a relationship, and as with most rapists, he won't shit where he eats. You know what I mean? It's just going to be one of those.
Yeah, but remember Roxy?
Yeah,
she was the only one on his side.
Yeah. Well, it's true, but But you see what I'm saying. Gina could be his biggest defender because she could say, well, we're in a relationship. You never did anything to me. You know what I mean? And that's...
Yeah, but that's literally what happened with Roxy.
Right.
I mean, he still tried to R-word her.
No, I understand that. I mean, we do have to realize it's not real life. You know what I mean?
What is this verb to heart work? This verb you keep using, this word, you say heart work.
Heart work? What do you mean?
R word.
No, what? What is the word you keep saying? Oh, our word. Oh, yep. With you. Dots joined. Sorry. I kept hearing, for some reason, I was hearing. So that's a conversation killer, wasn't it? I kept hearing you say what I thought was heart work, but you're saying our word.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't like that word.
because Dean's Mr. Romance and he's into the heart work.
Good one.
For God's sake. I've got
No,
nunchucks.
I was just trying to bring some levity to this week of Eastenders.
You're fine.
It's been absolutely dire and gloomy week. But
Now,
you
the
are
other-
right. Usually there's a bit of funny moments. I mean, I guess we had that with Kim accidentally outing Suki and Suki just confronting her about it. That was pretty good.
Right. And maybe it'll be funny whenever they realize that they've got Keanu's body in the calf. And now at this point in time, Rocky has admitted to arson. And so as part of the case against him, they'll want to find forensic
They want to
evidence.
investigate the calf again,
Yeah,
won't they?
yeah, we should go in there, probably look for some clues. I mean, that was sort of a ridiculous thing, wasn't it? I mean, everybody said, "Oh, well, you need to call and thumb, finger, well, no, finger Rocky, as it were." But but let's not move the body, which is just under 2 pieces of 4x2 and a tarp.
Yeah, it's it's really badly thought out. At some point, it's going to start smelling, and there's a whole bunch of traders that operate routinely outside of that.
Yes.
But
remember that one lady was stuck in the floorboards of the Indian restaurant for forever.
Yeah, but that's the argy bargy. That's out in the middle, in the sticks. The cafe is right on the main road, on the main drag.
Right.
Oh, because who was? Oh, it was a famous episode a year or so ago where, that all came to light, wasn't it? Who was it? Who was the
Gray.
village scumbag?
Yeah, Gray.
That's
2 Christmases ago, we had all that come out.
Oh, it seems like yesterday.
It does.
Yeah.
And it was such a good episode, and then they ruined it with the Mick episode where he jumps off the cliffs and over.
Okay, but okay. Well, one of the things that they've got going in their favor is because it's so cold, the body really shouldn't start stinking for a while.
But at some point.
Yeah, no. Come March, April, that's going to get ripe. That's all I'm thinking. So
unless they burn it down a second time.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. 3 people have the combination to the fence to get in or whatever that is.
Yeah.
Nish, who can't have killed Keanu because that totally screws that whole story up. And Kathy and someone else. I don't know. Who was it? Ian? Who's the other one that has the combination to it? But the thing about it is I think that they're going to say that Rocky has had it and Rocky killed Keanu.
I mean, that's basically their only plan at this point.
Yeah. They're going to have to go with that because the body's going to get turned up. Because they're going to have a warrant to go in there and obviously do more different things, from a police standpoint, I would imagine. But, so there's lots of loose ends. You never know if they do that intentionally or not, if it's just crappy writing. But I do anticipate that they have to weave this together in some kind of more cogent way. I don't know.
Well, I mean, just we'll have to wait and see as the. Well, like I said, we'll have to see next week with New Year's Day. That's also traditionally a pretty decent episode. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, won't we?
Yes. Well, how did everything else go? How did your Christmas go, by the way? Did all your meals turn out well, Richard?
They did, yes. I did the duck on Christmas Day, and it turned out really well. Couldn't eat much of it because COVID ruined my appetite, but everyone else seemed to enjoy it.
How about you, Tom?
Oh, it was great. We, yeah, no complaints whatsoever. We had a lovely time with the family. Just before, last week I just got back from Centre Parks where we had a great time there. So you know about that already. That's just like for anyone who doesn't know, it's Centre Parks is it's a getaway place, but there's a lot of other people there. It's a sort of semi-natural, to be honest, because you're in these little huts that are in this woodland, but there's all the modern conveniences though, and it's not like you're getting away from it all, not by a long shot. There's a lot of restaurants. It's all quite expensive. There's a lot of bars. There's loads of outdoor and exercise facilities, loads of things to do. Or if you want to just chill, you can. The main feature of all of them is a massive swimming pool in the center, which has loads of rides and flumes and things you can get on little rapids that you can you sort of swim down and get yourself bashed from side to side and things like that. So that we did that, and that was just for a few days with my family. That was great. Then after that, it was Christmas Day was just us, and it's all about the kids. As they love their presents. Had 4 roast meals over the period at least. Had one on Christmas Eve where Hannah and I always cook one and eat, and then on Christmas Day we had another one, and then on Boxing Day with Hannah's parents came over. We watched a espionage war film called Operation Mincemeat with Colin Firth, and that was cool. Went out on a bike ride, and yet again ate another roast meal. So it's just lots of really good, wholesome family time, really.
Right. Yeah. Operation Mincemeat is a true thing. It's a true story.
Yeah, it was. I don't know how true to life it actually is, but we were all in. We were into it, definitely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was pretty. It was. I don't think you would have to change much from the original story to make it exciting, because I mean, the whole idea of finding this dead body that you can then dress up like a British soldier who drowned. It's that was the thing that was the one of the main things, and then they had to drive across, I think, to Glasgow and get this body, bring it back to London and all that stuff. So it was an interesting thing. But anyway, yeah, that's good. That's good. So by roast, you mean roast, not meat roast, right? Correct.
Yeah.
With Yorkshires and roast potatoes, all the trimming.
Well, we did do Yorkshire puddings. Me being a vegan, I didn't have those because they had egg in them. Aldi was supposed to have vegan Yorkshire puddings, but they were shit. They didn't have any. I love Aldi. I really, really like the local branch. I'm on a hello, if not hugging terms with 2 or 3 members of staff. No, probably more like 5 actually. They're lovely. They're absolutely lovely in our local branch of Aldi, and wasn't pleased with their it wasn't their fault, of course. I didn't blame them, but the lack of stock of various items meant we had to get a delivery from Asda pretty rapidly on think Chris or day the 23rd on very late at night on Saturday the 23rd, about 9 o'clock at night. They turned up with a load of stuff for us. No, it was all it was really nice. It was all sort of I mean, some of it was fake meat, but fake vegan meat really isn't like my favorite. I'd much rather I'll do it in burgers and stuff, but if I'm having a roast, I would prefer to have something that isn't pretending to be meat as a roast. And we had things like there was a butternut squash and parsnip wreath in pastry, and that was really really good. It was delicious. But yeah, some of the things were fake meat. There was like a fake gammon wreath. It's just made from, well, it's like imagine how healthy a giant chicken, a wreath made of chicken McNugget chicken would be. Well, it's about as, to be honest, it's about as processed as that. It's all made from pea proteins and soya proteins and stuff like that. I don't know how they do it, but it is plant based and it is very nice. And if I used to eat nuggets when I was eating everything, which I did, then I won't not eat processed vegetable vegan stuff. So, but it isn't always my first choice. That's all I'm saying. And vegan pigs in blankets was pushing it a bit, but I did eat those. I mean, that's like fake sausages wrapped around with fake bacon wrapped around it. It's absolutely delicious, and it tastes 99% exactly the same. So game on.
Yeah,
Richard, I'm sure you're disgusted.
I'm so disgusted.
well,
I was just trying to work out how you would make vegan Yorkshire puddings, since you can't use eggs or milk, and I was just trying to figure that one out.
Well, I don't know what you do, because egg is like a raising agent in Yorkshire puddings, isn't it?
Yeah.
When egg is used as a binding agent, you can substitute it for something called xanthan gum. Xanthan gum is absolutely revolting. I have no time for it whatsoever. The one time we bought it, it's just like wallpaper paste all over your hands while you're cooking. It's foul.
yeah.
So I'm not. There's certain things that I just think no, just absolutely not. There's I don't know how this brand is still in business, but there's a brand of fake vegan egg mixture. I can't even remember what it's called, but I mean, if it's used as an ingredient by someone in their cooking and it works out for them, great, and I'd love it, and I'd certainly buy anything with it in. But to sort of like just to pour it into a microwave, in a bowl, microwave it, and whip it all up as scrambled egg, no, failed. Absolutely gross. I can't remember what it was. Just on the shelf in Tesco, this bottle of fake vegan egg mixture, and no, just I'm not. I would 10,000 times more would I rather go without any form of wannabe egg on my vegan all day breakfast than eat this revolting mixture again. Oh, it was foul.
Right.
And respect the effort, but and sometimes it works out brilliantly with like the Burger King's plant whopper. That they win. This did not win. I'm afraid to say. I take no pleasure in saying it, but no, this fake vegan egg mixture I had once was just truly abysmal.
Well, powdered eggs are terrible. I mean, they actually have some eggs in them. But what I wanted to say is, for people in America, I think the closest thing to Yorkshire pudding would be a popover. If you're familiar with what a popover is, that's kind of the closest.
You can't explain Yorkshire's to
Well,
America.
no, but it is. I mean, at least in a popover pan and the Yorkshire pudding pan is the same thing, and the most of the ingredients in both are the same. So, I mean, I don't understand. I mean, you probably don't put gravy all over them, but still, it does. It's and popovers are a Southern thing. Obviously that's, it's a cuisine separated by 300 years, so they're a little bit different, but similar. You know what I mean? So, anyway, that's that. Well, I'm glad everybody had a good Christmas, and that was good. That was good. Yeah, it's just spending time with your family's the best thing. Are you feeling better now, Richard? That you think you can do something for New Year's Eve, or are you just going to just go to sleep?
No, I'm going to make it up to midnight, and I'm cooking my family a meal on New Year's Day, and hopefully I'm up for it.
Mm. But do you enjoy this? Or are they just taking the mick out of you, making you do all this?
Oh no, I enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. Are you gonna drink some vegan beers and pints and put them down you?
Me?
Yeah.
Probably not. I'm not going to drink any vegan beer. No, you. I'm going to drink real beer.
So, what if the beer's accidentally vegan?
Yes.
I mean, for example, the bottle of Badger that I'm drinking right now, Badger are a vegan brewery, but I don't think they ever intended particularly to be. It just sort of worked out that way.
Yeah. I mean, and if you were a brewery that was vegan and you didn't know you were doing it, and then at the one point in time somebody said, "Oh, that is vegan," you'd market the hell out of that, because people who had drank it in the past, they'd be like, "Oh, okay, that's good," and then you could always get new customers saying,
Well,
"Okay."
that's an interesting point, actually, because I sometimes wonder if in Andy's boards, if there's people like Richard on them, and I've genuinely wondered this, who say, actually, maybe we don't want to put the vegan label on it, because vegans will look it up and they'll Google our item, because it isn't on Badger. I don't think anywhere on these Badger beers they say they're vegan, and I wonder if that's because they've had a marketing meeting, and I'd love to have been a fly on the wall for this, where one person says, "Hang on, we should put vegan all over on the vegan label on them, and then we'll sell more." And if someone like you, Richard, goes, "Whoa, whoa, 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 hold your horses, Sonny Jim, not so fast." Or what if,
You really think that I'd say Sonny Jim?
No, I don't. I just tried not.
Yeah, he's not Scottish. Listen here, Sonny
don't let me lose my thread. Don't let me lose my thread. I'll not get it back.
Okay.
Said, hang on a minute. Hold your horses. Whether you're Sonny Jim or not. I don't think we want to put vegan all over us, because enough people will look at that and think, "Oh God, that's probably shit and compromised and watered down gnat's piss," and so we're not going to buy it. Whereas if we don't put the vegan label on it, then the vegans will rely on vegans to Google it, look it up, as I have done, and drink it plentifully, whilst anyone else who would see it as a negative is none the wiser.
Right.
So I wonder if it's actually a deliberate strategy for some people not to put the vegan label on it.
Well, Tom. Well, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
I don't know.
Oh,
No,
okay. All I was going to say is that conspiracy theory marketing is actually probably the new guerrilla marketing. You know what I mean? If you think about it in the way that people love to hear a conspiracy theory, like, "Oh, we didn't put it on there because of, people saying that," and getting into a chat room and talking about why or why not they didn't admit something, that people will spend lots and lots of time talking about it in message boards about what the motivation of that really is. And I mean, it does seem like there's a lot of people who, you throw a conspiracy theory in front of them, they're all over it. You know what I mean? It's just, it's an interesting thing this week where, from a political standpoint, Putin came out and said that America is a disgrace because you can't trust democracy in America. That Trump had really won the election, and that we are so anti-democratic that we can't pull off an election. Now, this is from the guy who has tried to assassinate his political opponent twice using polonium, and has currently got him locked up in a gulag somewhere or dead because nobody knows where he's at. So
yeah,
but if he made it to the election, it would have been a fair, free, and fair election.
Yes, it would have been. Yes, that's it. We could have counted on the fact that that would have been fairly
It's
run.
not Putin's fault that the morning of the election, his opponent brutally cut his own head off while shaving. Okay.
Well, exactly.
But then again, but the thing about it is if you have that that idea that that's it. Several people said to me, "Well, what do you think about Putin saying? I mean, what do you think? That's obviously got to be true because Putin said it's true. I mean, it's like at what point in time do you stop saying to people, how does your ass feel because some Russians got their hand so far up at moving your mouth? It just does not, it just they don't seem to understand. I mean, and I'm not saying people are stupid, but at the same point in time, if you knew the course of Putin's life at all, you wouldn't think he was a guy that was trustworthy enough. I mean, British people have some idea because he sent, political dissidents in England have been killed by Russian agents trying to silence them saying anything against Putin.
Yeah.
But I mean, for some reason, that's not got here. The hatred for Democrats is more than the fact that Putin is who he is. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Putin. He is who he is. But maybe everybody should know that. Anyway, that's life.
I think we'll be wrapping it up there for this week. We will return next week. Despite the hopes of many, it's good night from me and it's good night from them. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Happy New Year.
Absolutely.
Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah.